Good evening and welcome back to Golden Eagle Sports Report.
Tonight we sit down for an exclusive interview with a Marquette athlete who is here to break a big announcement, highlight some family ties within the lacrosse program, and more.
So get ready, Marquette Nation, because Golden Eagle Sports Report starts right now.
Slam dunk! Oh, that's a poster. Live from the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio at Marquette University, this is Golden Eagle Sports Report.
Marquette gets the rebound, and the champions have gone down.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amy Galashewski.
And I'm Andrew Muzu.
We start tonight's show with an exclusive interview with Marquette women's basketball forward Chloe Murata, who is breaking news for the first time publicly on her future with the Marquette women's basketball program.
We now send it over to assistant sports producer Kristen Parisi, who is with Murata in Studio 7. Kristen?
Thanks, Andrew and Amy. It's great to have you on the show, Chloe.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So starting things off, coming off a career year this season, what were your overall thoughts of your performance?
Yeah, I thought it was a great year. We went far in the NIT, which was great. Our expectations is always to make the tournament, but we knew when we made the NIT, let's go far in it, and we did just that. I'm excited to play with our seniors for the last couple games. That was really fun, and personally, I was happy with how I played. I think always looking forward to getting better and helping out my team as best as I can.
Yeah, and I talked with Jordan a couple days ago and talking about how, although you didn't make the NCAA tournament, you were still able to go to the WNIT and made a deep run. So how did it feel to be able to make such a deep run in postseason?
Yeah, I thought it was great to play against teams at our place, and the Ellen McGuire Center when it was packed there. The support from our administrative staff to try to get our games to be there was outstanding, and just to have the fans and play against your or in front of your family for a couple last times was great. Always wanting to hang a banner up in there, but didn't happen this year, but hopefully we can continue to have success in the future.
And that fan base was just insane in those couple of games. So how did their energy really fuel you guys in those couple of games?
It was something we missed so much last year, and I think talking to some of the freshmen who didn't have that experience, and even some of the seniors, just how great it was to be in that space again, have the crowd cheering for you. There were so many people who came through, and I felt like it was a little bit slow after COVID, not a lot of fans showing up and stuff. And then it started to pick up a lot at the end of the year, and it was just great to see them at the end of the year. So.
Yeah, and in that WNIT Sweet 16 game against Toledo, the fans did get to see you post a career high 28 points. So how did you feel being able to have such a career game in front of everybody?
Yeah, it was a great time. Obviously, we didn't come out with the win, which is what we wanted. But Lauren got into foul trouble. Liza had a little bit of foul trouble, and so as a player, you kind of you need to step up, in those situations. And Lauren does that a lot for us during the season. She always stepped up, and so it was kind of my time to be like, all right, I got to help you guys out. What can I do? And in that game, they weren't really playing me too closely, so I had a lot of open shots that I could take, and just had to knock them down. So. It was great.
Yeah, and although it didn't come out with a win, it was still an amazing performance. But now it's been over a month since the season has ended. Obviously, you've had your senior year, but what are your future plans for next year? Will you be coming back, or will you be moving on from Marquette?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm actually going to be coming back to Marquette for my 5th year. Given this chance with COVID, I think you got to take advantage of it. This is a great university, great program. I love my coaches, I love my teammates, and it really wasn't a big decision because I knew I was going to be coming back. It's funny, if you ask any of my teammates or coaches, they'd probably be like, yeah, we knew she was coming back. So not too big of a surprise to the Marquette community, but like I said, I love this place, and it really wasn't a tough decision to come back and play again for my final year.
So you said you knew you were coming back. So was this before the season even started? You knew that you were going to come back for your 5th year?
Yeah, I saw Lauren. She took her 6th year, obviously, and kind of when that COVID year came out, you guys are having a chance to take your 5th year. When it came out on ESPN, I was obviously interested in that. And given that short year during 2020, it was so hard to experience not a full college career. And so to have that chance to play again was something I knew I could take advantage of. Obviously with some talks with Coach Duffy, I came with my final decision to play again.
And how much does it mean to have a coach like Coach Duffy to, be there for you and help you make these kind of decisions?
Yeah, she's wonderful. I mean, to have a coach with such a great relationship, you can go into her and talk about anything, honestly, in the offices. And so just to have that relationship and talk truly about what it's going to mean to stay another year, what I need to do to be better for another year and to help my teammates, especially in the leadership side of things, stepping up as a fifth year, you have a lot more of experience on the court and off the court. And so what can you do to help the team? And I think that that's some of the conversations we had and will have continuing on.
Yeah, you mentioned taking that final leap and really working hard in the offseason. So what does this summer and this offseason look like for you to gear up for this last season?
Yeah, just a lot of hard work, honestly. I think that, like I mentioned, a lot of experience I've had on the court. And so, I know how people play me, and I know what the team needs in certain situations. And I think that it's really about creating relationships with my teammates, first of all, and the new girls that are going to come in, and being a leader for them on and off the court. And then also just a lot of skill work, working on my outside game a little bit, getting my jumper right, and finishing around the rim a little bit, but then also focusing on, what we're best at as a team. And that's, rebounding, getting after loose balls, the hustle plays. And you got to kind of instill that early on for the freshmen coming in and some of our transfers, and kind of teach them, what the culture is here at Marquette. And so I'm looking forward to doing that this summer. Obviously working on strength and speed and all that, continuing on. So it'll be a good summer for us.
Yeah, and you talked about leadership and how important that is to you, and obviously a leader in Lauren Van Clunen. It will be your first season without her. How much has she meant to you in your journey here at Marquette and growing as a player?
Yeah, I always tell her this story, but when I first was getting recruited, I told my uncle, I was like, I'll have 3 years with Lauren, or 2 years with Lauren. And then all of a sudden it was 3 years with Lauren. And then all of a sudden I had my whole career with Lauren. And I have never been, so grateful to have had a teammate like that for my 4 years. And I've learned more than, I can even mention here from her as a leader and a player on the court. And so, this will be my first year without Lauren, but it will almost be as if Lauren's here because of how much she's instilled in me, and that I can share with the team what she's taught me. And so, I hope to carry that on a little bit more. And, you never can match what Lauren did at Marquette University, but I hope to just have a little tips and tricks from her.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Duffy said even after senior night, she's the epitome of Marquette basketball and of a Marquette woman. So, she won't be here, as you said, she'll be there with you in spirit. But going off of what you said about being able to play in front of your family, you get one more year to play in Wisconsin, your home state. So what does it mean for you to be able to have your family there with you on this journey?
Gosh, yeah. I mean, having them in the crowd every game, every home game, it's been a blessing. And when I committed to Marquette, that was something that I really was looking forward to, to have them in the stands. And there's a funny picture of my mom and my brother kind of screaming at the crowd. And that's what it's all about, is just seeing them there and having that support from them. And so that's the other thing. My mom texted me on senior night and was like, "I'm so happy this isn't your last game." And I was like, me too. Like, there was not a doubt in my mind. I'm like, I am staying for the next year, and you get to watch me play for another year. And so, yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, and going off of family ties, your late father, Mark, played here and also wore number 52. And this year you passed him in career rebounds in his mark. So what does it mean to be able to continue the Marotta family legacy and really make your mark with your father's legacy in mind?
Yeah, I would do anything to tell him that I beat him on that rebounding record. I think that's something that he kind of bribed us as we were younger to get more rebounds in games and things like that, whether it was candy bars or something like that. But so he would definitely be proud of that. But, I hope to just continue what I'm doing and be kind of Chloe in a sense. My dad did his thing, my brother did his thing as well. And so just continuing on, I'm the only one that takes 5 years, right? So I have an extra year to just do what I do best, and hoping that he'll forever be proud.
Yeah, and you always seeing him and just seeing what he did and being able to continue that on, I'm sure he's very, very proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and then thinking ahead to next season and the mentality, what is the mentality for the entire team, to get back to that contend to the Big East title and also back to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, this is kind of the first year that we didn't with Coach Duffy that we didn't really finish we finished kind of the middle ground of the Big East Conference. And so I think that it's about knowing and understanding what that felt like this year, and kind of, is that a motivation for us to get better? And I truly think that it is. And I think we have leaders on this team that have played now for a few more years, with obviously Jordan being a senior this year. Liza's now had 2 great years under her belt, and a lot of other people that have come in and have that experience. And so they're really going to share that with the younger girls. And as I mentioned before, kind of creating that culture and making sure that everyone's well aware of it. But understanding, the Big East Conference is very tough, and we're going to have to work every single day. And it doesn't just happen in November. It doesn't just happen in July, whatever it is, but it's obviously a process throughout the whole season. And so where can we get in March is really, really the goal. But right now we got to focus on, May, June, and July, and how much better as preseason we can get.
Yeah, locking in is the biggest thing, but obviously it's going to be great to see you back on the court one final time, especially leading this team to new heights. But that is all the time we have. Thank you again, Chloe, for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So when we come back, can both lacrosse programs send off their seniors with the win? Plus, the NBA playoffs are back and bringing a whole lot of drama. We'll discuss all that after the break.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
It all can get so out of control. Sometimes you can lose your faith, you can lose your mind, lose your grip, get stripped of your pride till you don't know how you're gonna stay alive. Hey, hey, I got you. I will give you what you need, and I'll be right there. I got you back. I got you.
And welcome back to Golden Eagles Sports Report. Once again, I'm Amy Galashewski.
And I'm Andrew Muzu.
The women's lacrosse team hosted the Georgetown Hoyas in their final home match of the regular season. Let's take a look at some highlights. Marquette's offense is clicking early, jumping out to a 4-1 lead in that first frame. But Andrew, things quickly changed. The second quarter, Georgetown scores 5 unanswered goals, going into halftime tied at 6. But things remain close here coming out of break. Kira Lamont pulls off a nice little spin move. Woo! Scores off her 4th of the game and what becomes the game-winning goal. Marquette pulls away with the victory, 14-12, improving to 8-8 on the season.
It's my last time playing lacrosse at home, Marquette, so why not go hard? So that was my mentality. Every time the ball was on the ground, I was like, that's my ball, or every time I was going to goal, I was shooting to score.
The men's lacrosse team also looks to win their final home game at the Valley Fields, welcoming in Villanova Wildcats on Senior Day. Marquette struggles out the gate, going down 4-1 in the first quarter, but then they flip the script, taking a lead of 5-4, but then the Wildcats scored 2 more to go up 6-5 at the half. It's all Villanova after that. Graduate student attacker Luke Keating scores back-to-back goals, extending the lead to 9-5. And then Marquette makes a late push, but they fall short 10-8, dropping its 3rd game in a row.
Yeah, it sucks to lose your last home game, but I think hopefully in a couple weeks we won't remember this game. We'll be celebrating something else.
And although the team lost, one player is keeping things on a high note. Carson Hartsfield has more.
What may be a typical practice for the Marquette men's lacrosse team is just one of the many places Will Foster showcases his talents.
I thought I was trying to play college basketball all the way up until freshman year. Obviously, that plans change.
Now a Division I athlete,
Good, Foster, switch.
sports aren't the only thing Foster's in tune with.
I sing here and there, a lot in the locker room and all that good stuff, but the first time it kind of officially happened was freshman karaoke on the bus ride back from our first game, Bellarmine.
To help our friends in need, you can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there.
Foster's music isn't just for the bus, it's also for the stage, the place he's picked up his musical skills.
My sisters both sing. Mom gave all three of us the gene, I guess. Dad's not much of a singer.
Foster hums along with the Golden Blues, Marquette's co-ed a cappella group, with the same energy he puts onto the field.
He's bright all the time, and I don't know how he does it, because he's got practice, he's got art practices, he's got homework, he's got working out. I would be dog tired around, but no, he always enters the room with his head held high, with a smile, always saying hi to everybody.
Everybody from both his teams.
Common denominator between the two are my relationships. These 50-50 guys are my brothers. I mean, I've never had a brother, so having them be really, really close to me, and I see them 90% of my day, it's fantastic.
Will Foster, greatest of all time.
I'm Carson Hartsfield, Marquette Wire News.
There's family ties between both Marquette lacrosse programs. Molly Gretzlock tells us the story.
In 2019, Marquette women's lacrosse attacker Shay Garcia found herself over 900 miles from home.
Coach Black just reached out to me, had a good time, and I was like, why not just give Marquette a chance? I didn't exactly know where Marquette was at the time.
Little did she know, 3 years later, a familiar face would be joining her in the Midwest.
He's 3 grades younger than me, but 2 years younger, so we've always been really close.
Marquette men's lacrosse first-year midfielder Nolan Garcia knew he would play lacrosse in college, but didn't know where.
The most excited person was Shay. She was by far the most excited. She wanted me to come there the whole time, and I didn't want to go there because she wanted me to go there.
After deciding on Marquette, Shay helped him get acclimated quickly.
I think having Shay here has helped him, I think, just adjust probably a little bit quicker. Playing the same sport, I think picking her brain on some of the things that maybe were tough for her as a freshman.
And sibling competition ignites their motivation.
I think that definitely motivates him, having me here, because I was, not to my own horn, I was Big East freshman of the year, and he definitely wants to show what he can do.
Head Marquette women's lacrosse coach Meredith Black can relate to the siblings' experience.
My older brother played lacrosse at Notre Dame, and he was a year above me in school, so we spent 3 years together there, and it was amazing. It was such a cool experience, and I'm so happy that Shay and Nolan have that same opportunity.
The sport of lacrosse has only made the Garcia support for one another strengthen.
The amount of time that we spent in the backyard together with our dad, I think that really brought us a lot closer, because I feel like not all siblings have that one thing in common.
From sharing the same sport to attending the same college, the Garcias recognize the power of this unique opportunity.
Definitely, obviously, want to play well for myself, my family, and stuff. But I think it's really cool to have both the Garcia names make an impact at Marquette.
Reporting from Valley Fields, I'm Molly Gretzlock, Marquette Wire Sports.
And Garcia won. Up, the Windy City is getting blown away by the defending champions. I know you'll love that one.
Yeah, just wait 2 more minutes and we'll discuss it. But we also discuss which MVP finalist should take home the NBA's most prestigious individual award.
We dive in after the break.
Have you ever seen somebody treated unfairly because of the color of their skin?
Do you guys know what it means to have white privilege?
What is racism and
What do you think about it?
Talk to young children about what racism is, giving them the language to understand it. They can be disruptors. They can shape and shift culture.
We may not always know the answer, but we'll try and help you learn.
You don't have to have all the answers, but that doesn't mean we can't start.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
What are you looking for?
We're back in Studio 7. We'll be discussing the NBA playoffs, NFL draft, and more. But joining me on the panel tonight, I have a great array of guests. I have Matt Yazel next to me, Kristen Parisi, and Andrew Amuzu. What a bunch. I'm excited to get some of this debate going here. You know where we have to start. The game that everyone's been talking about. The Boston Celtics swept the Brooklyn Nets last night. There's been some controversy surrounding Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant based off of Paul Pierce's tweet. Let's take a look at it. It says, quote, "I think Jason Tatum may be surpassing Kevin Durant right before our eyes in the NBA hierarchy." Woo! That's quite the tweet there that he put out. Got some attention going. Obviously, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think that Tatum is really passing KD?
All right, well, Andrew, I'm going to look right at you because you
Please do.
have been talking to me, talking my ear off all year long about how Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets are the favorite to win the NBA Finals, no matter how bad things got in Brooklyn, no matter how
never listen
how
to
hot
Andrew. Never listen
the
to Andrew
dumpster
on the
fire
sports
is.
takes. He's always wrong.
The Brooklyn Nets
He's always
were
wrong.
the favorites in
Anyways.
Andrew's mind to win the NBA Finals, no matter what.
What
and
are you doing?
what happened when we got into the playoffs? Kevin Durant got swept. What is happening over here? Oh, he's
Go
taking
back
a
to
nap.
sleep? A little
Yeah.
sleeper over there?
That's what Kevin Durant's about to get a whole lot more of because he's not going to play more in the season because he got swept by Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics. And let me give you some numbers here. Maybe if we want to take the camera
He's going
off
to
that.
bed because the Bulls are about to be out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
too,
that's a whole
so-
other issue for Andrew. But look, Jason Tatum, when he was guarding Kevin Durant in this series, KD was 3 for 18. That's not very good if we didn't know. So
KD did get 39 points last night, though.
in a loss,
Okay,
And
but
he still
39
couldn't.
points
He
is
still
incredible.
couldn't take his
Oh,
team
keep
to the.
going.
he
Take
shot
us
below
through it.
he
Take
shot
us through it.
below 40% for the entire series. The supposed best player in the NBA. You don't get swept in the first round if you're the best player in the NBA. I'm sorry. Now, Jason Tatum deserves a ton of credit. He played incredibly. I don't necessarily.
Andrew, can you wake up?
I don't necessarily know if he's better than Kevin Durant right now. Is he
done?
But you know what?
Not
I'm
yet.
not mad if you say that this series because he earned it.
Andrew, I would love to hear your thoughts.
But I first want to ask if Matt's finished. If he's
I'm done. You,
okay.
go ahead.
That was a long
yours.
answer, Matt.
That was a great little nap I just had. First things first, we all know, we won't get into it, but we all know why Paul Pierce is off of ESPN for some reasons. But there should also be a reason why Paul Pierce should be off Twitter. Because Kevin Durant is one of the greatest scorers in NBA history, if not the greatest scorer of NBA history. Now, he goes up against the Boston Celtics, one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the NBA, and they shut him down.
Okay, but did you see what he said at the beginning of the year before the season? He was like,
What he
I
said?
want it was after the Olympics. He was like, I want Boston. We want Boston. And then look what happened.
Let's
won
just
Boston.
Let's just look at this past series. Andrew, continue.
So
I'm curious.
okay, yes, we want Boston, and yes, Matt, they were the favorites to win the NBA championship because of their squad. But then Kyrie Irving, that whole shenanigans
Very
and all that stuff.
wishy-washy.
James Harden decides to go to the club instead of dribble a basketball. He goes to Philly, and now Kevin Durant has to carry the load. He gets hurt. It was a crazy season for the Nets. They run into the best defense. It's not Jason Tatum that he's running into. It's Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics. He had a very bad series. We'll give him that, but Jason Tatum has still a little bit of room to catch up for Kevin Durant, the greatest scorer in NBA
But
history.
in the first game, it was like It was like the game winner. Jason Tatum over here.
Okay.
Kevin Durant's
Oh.
just like this. Kevin Durant's just standing
Thank you for
there.
acting it out.
He's,
for us.
he's just standing there.
Oh,
He's
and just that
he's
one
just
move,
standing
that
there.
one possession.
That's the one thing you're going
Jason
on.
That is
Tatum.
the, but like, it's like he gave up. How do you go all this talk and he's man. I'm not saying that Jason Tatum is going to be better than KD, but if we look at KD,
So then
we have
what's this play?
We have KD and Kyrie. Didn't win. We have KD, James Harden, Russell Westbrook. Couldn't do jack squat. He went to the Golden State Warriors.
The finals, but okay.
He went to the Golden State Warriors and got his 2 rings. He didn't have rings before that, and he might not even have rings after that. So how can we really say that?
My pillow.
Blah blah blah. He's like one of the
Gotta
greatest.
go back
He's
to
a
sleep.
great scorer, but like the accolades. Come on.
Can we compare their legacies?
Not yet.
Can
Jason
we?
Tatum is still 19 years old.
These are the questions that we
19.
answer.
It's a going joke because everyone's like, he's only 19 years old.
Last time I checked, he was 24.
It was a
Thank you,
running
Amy.
joke on Twitter. Everyone's like, he's still 19.
Yeah, we
I guess
got it,
I'm not on
we
that
got
side
it.
of Twitter, Kristen, but I'm done talking about the Nets. I would like to talk about some other
That's fine
teams
to me.
in the NBA playoffs. I'm curious to hear which teams you all think have been the most disappointing
Bulls
thus
and
far.
Hawks. Bulls and Hawks. Bulls, because this man was like, their Bulls are so good, blah, blah, blah. And like, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball can't stay healthy. And then we have Trae Young and the Hawks. After the
But
Clippers
they're
game,
meant to lose.
You can't say the Bulls
They're
are
going up
disappointing.
against the Heat.
Especially the Hawks. The Hawks are the 8 seed, Kristen. What do you mean
Trae Young.
disappointing?
I
The
know, but
I would
the
love to
Hawks,
see that upset,
but when
but
the
they're
Hawks
not-
beat the Clippers, they acted like they were like the top of the world. When they
You
beat the
can't
Clippers in the
celebrate
play.
making the playoffs?
But it's like they celebrated a little too far.
Here's
from
what we
play.
need to establish here.
All right,
The Bulls
Andrew.
are the worst team in the playoffs right now. And I tweeted that out. I
You
don't
did.
know how. And then
It's
Oh,
you.
wow, they're really pulling up the
you
receipts.
guys, of course.
It's
you
you.
guys pulled the
Yes,
receipts.
because you were like, I'm
And,
seeing red.
and you see
I'm
that does not
seeing
make
red.
any sense. Amy's tweet got more likes than my original tweet. So all
'Cause
you
it was
guys
true.
are sabotaging
they
my
call a
tweet and going to
ratio,
like
Andrew.
hers. But I will have to say this. This is a fact. Andrew Muzu, Kristen Parisi, Amy Galashevsky. We have Maisie Baldus, who is our production director.
Where are you
we
going
have
with
people
this?
like
What are you going with
our
this?
assistant sports producers, Kylie Getz, Molly Gretzlock, executive sports producer.
You're just naming
Tyler
any TV
Peters,
people now.
have all been closer to an NBA rim than Ben Simmons.
Oh, my goodness.
Have been Ben Simmons. So the Nets, I'm sorry, I know you said we're going to stop talking about the Nets. They've been the biggest disappointment because they were the favorites to win the NBA title. And they got
weren't.
swept. They didn't even get one game. Not one game. It's not like they're playing against the Bucks like the Bulls are.
Oh,
They didn't get
excuses,
one
excuses.
game because Ben Simmons decided fashion is more important and being stylish
good
on
on
the
the bench.
sideline.
Yeah, he did.
He looks good,
look
okay, but
good.
you also have to agree, Ben Simmons not playing. Oh, my back hurts
You
a little
look
bit.
good.
Okay, great. Everyone's back hurts. Katie's probably back hurts from carrying their dang team. But like not being able to play. When did James Harden get traded? When was that?
A long
Back in
time ago. We're
February.
not going to talk
Back in
about the
February.
Nets anymore.
And
all right?
he hasn't played at all this season.
Yeah, he's not very good anyway, so I don't care.
Matt, I wanna
the
hear your
Nuggets.
take.
I'm going to say the Nuggets are the
Okay,
most disappointing
switch it up
team.
a little bit.
They have the MVP, arguably, of this season. At least one of the top candidates. They go up against a Warriors team. I get it. They have some injuries. No Jamal Murray.
No
Michael
Marcus
Porter
Howard.
Jr.
No Marcus Howard.
No Marcus Howard.
Devastating.
So tell me how that's a disappointment then. If
The
they have all these
Warriors
injuries.
don't have a defender who can guard a center.
Okay, but do you
Nikola
see their
Jokic,
team?
the NBA potential MVP, should be carrying his team better than he is right now. They won Game 4. Cool. The series is already over. I say the Nuggets, pretty disappointing series.
I don't know. For me, I'd say the 76ers. Have you seen recently? Yes, I know they're up 3-2.
They're in danger.
Look,
Yes,
They're in
about
danger
to
mode.
pull. They might lose 3. They might
Exactly.
Oh, I would love
and
it.
if
That
they
would
do
be
that,
so great.
they will never be able to recover. And this is to you, executive sports editor John Liuzzi.
Whoa.
I don't think that they'll be able to do it. Highest
Wow.
highs, but the lowest lows.
I love it.
If they lose to the Raptors, I want John to be on next week, and so we can all clown him.
Yes.
Because
would
he's
enjoy
like,
it.
oh, Philly this, Philly that. We're back, baby. Joel Embiid. Huh.
Yeah.
So if they lose, that's really sad.
Oh my God.
We'll see if James Harden can get rid of that little stage fright that he's had going on. But
Ooh.
I'm
He's
really
turning into playoff P.
Yes,
He's
yes.
turning into playoff.
Don't
P.
even want to get into that. That's a whole other topic. But yes, we'll definitely be keeping you updated with all of our playoffs coverage, everything else. Maybe we can talk about MVP next time. But thank you all for joining us. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday for our last show of the school year. I'm Amy Galoszewski. Good night, Marquette.